Now, as the summer's kicking in, we're going to be doing a few of these just to highlight the potential transfers going on and seeing whether certain players would be good fits for certain other clubs and just get into the finer details of it. Today I've gone for Bryan Mbeumo. I don't have a real good reason why. It was just a play that was on my mind. I saw the Christian Norgard interview where for some reason he talked about Bryan Mbeumo leaving in the summer and saying how it was near enough a certainty. Why on earth he decided to do that, I will never know. But whatever, I feel like we all knew it was going to happen anyway. It's just weird to see a member of the squad coming out and saying that. I'm going to discuss what makes Bryan Mbeumo such a high-level player, what I think his qualities are, and where I think his most likely, or what I think his most likely destination should be. And he was a player that I used to not rate. I thought he had a lot of pace, but no real end product, a bit all fart, no poo. Was a good facilitator, but nothing special. Whereas now Ivan Toney has left, and this Brentford team sort of lacked their star player. He's really stepped up into that mould and been that, and been huge for Brentford what they've needed. They've not gone out and splashed money on a Toney replacement. Well, they kind of have. They did it with Igor Thiago. He's just not played because of injury. But that's still rested on Mbeumo's shoulders to step up and be the main man and to get 18 goals, I believe it is, at this point in the Premier League season. By far his best return. He's been one of the top scorers in the league. Been one of the best players in the league, to be fair. And except for Salah, you can make a case for him being the best right winger in the league this season. Saka's obviously been injured for a lot, which probably takes him out of the running, or at least just below Mbeumo. But his improvement this season has been absolutely top draw, and he's helped elevate Brentford to another level yet again. And we're going to discuss what makes him so good. And there's a lot that makes him so good, so bear with this. Now, one thing is his transitional threat. And that comes from, obviously, when Brentford are building up and they're suckering an opponent into high pressing them, or from the defensive phase, which they do sit in, and they do sit in rather deep. And because they are a predominantly man-marking side, as good as Bryan Mbeumo is with his high pressing, and he's a very diligent presser and gets into good positions where he wins the ball back or can intercept an errant pass, he also does a really good job of dropping into that defensive line if he's taking care of an overlapping fullback, if that's his desired marker, which is important when we discuss the team that I think he'll be most likely to join in the summer. He has no problem for a player with such high quality dropping into that defensive line if that's the position that Brentford find themselves in, if that's the area where they're soaking up pressure. Brentford do end up so deep in defensive situations with the strikers back in their own third to restrict the space that an opposition can play through, and he sticks to it diligently. And now if they win the ball back, his movement to get up the field, his pace, his running power is massive. And making movements, let's say if the ball's going up to Visser, he's holding it up, he can make that movement on the outside. If Visser's got the quality to find him, then it's a dangerous opportunity. But his ability to run from deep, burst of pace beyond his full-back marker or a winger or even a midfielder covering, forcing a centre-back to maybe make a decision that leaves a central area of the pitch vulnerable, is huge. Fantastic, just direct threat completely. And even if he gets the ball, can carry it as well. He does slow down a bit when he gets the ball, but only if a player that comes from this area is blocking off the inside pass or the inside movement. He doesn't like taking it on his right foot. He's not the best with his weaker foot. It's not for a lack of quality, it just seems a lack of want to do anything with his right foot. He just never seems comfortable. Every action he makes is coming inside into the half space, inside to create with a shot, a cross or a pass. So that is a bit of an issue. It makes him a little bit predictable, but knowing what he's going to do and then stopping it is another issue completely. Also, his partnership with Visser has been fantastic from this season, and Visser can sometimes get involved deeper in build-up to try and offer a direct option from the back. And Mbeumo will come into this area, pin the two centre-backs back, be that main attacking threat that gives Whistle more time in these deeper areas to link up with his teammates, maybe find a player in a bit more space. Damsgaard is the more creative player, and Mbeumo will stick to his task in between the two centre-backs to look for the pass in behind with his direct movement, his direct transitional threat. And has he got the touch and finishing ability to make the most of these moments and get into good positions and put the ball in the back of the net? Look at the stats. You don't really need to ask me that. And so just having a player a fantastic transitional threat that shows he's got a great relationship with the players around him and knows where to position himself, that gives the opposition the most issues at that present time, is such a key component to making this work. And it's going to be really important when we talk about the team. And yeah. Now we're going to go on to how he is on the right wing in the main attacking phase of Brentford's play. Now, you get wingers who operate in generally one of two areas in the pitch. They're at their most dangerous. One is in the byline area. They'll get past their marker on the outside, get into these positions with the ball, and look to cross in, or maybe look to pull backs on the edge of the box, or look for a fullback who's making an underlapping run to the edge of the box, or an attacking midfielder, whoever. And they're useful in these situations, maybe finding the ball in behind the defensive line to create. Or you have players that love playing in this position, in the half space area, to create from the inside. And if you have truly world-class wingers, they'll do both. I'm looking at Salah, I'm looking at Rafinha, players that can do that, just priceless and rare and game-changing if you have them. Again, as I was speaking about before, doesn't like this. Doesn't like taking the ball on his right foot down here. It's not something he's comfortable with. Not for a lack of quality, it's for a lack of confidence, I guess, mentality. I guess he's very regimented in this Brentford style and what's expected from him. So what he does is he needs runners in these areas, and that's with the fullback overlapping, that's with the attacking midfielder underlapping, dragging markers with him, causing the fullback marking him to drop a little bit, with the winger and midfielder on that side. And this creates the space in this area here. And he's got this fantastic move in Mbeumo, where he can get his marker in a standing position and take a touch away from his body into the space that's created in the half space, where he's now got room on the inside to get a shot away, to maybe find one of those underlapping or overlapping runs that the players have made if the timing is right, or to launch across to the far post, lovely little chip, delicate balls for players waiting to overload in that area of the pitch and attack and get on the end of it. Or maybe not even move himself into this position. Maybe even if the 8 comes across onto this side, he can quickly find that pass into them, and now they have a lot more space, a lot more closer to goal. His decision making when the space opens up is really good, whether it needs him to move in, take that touch in there, or find a player in a much more dangerous position for the opposition is top notch, and contributes to him getting such a high number of goals and assists that he just always feels in control. There are certain players that when they're in those dangerous attacking positions, when there's runners all around him, that he just makes it a little bit calmer. The game feels slower around him, and that sounds like a bit of an insult, but it's not. He just always feels in control. He never panics, never rushes his movement, and his operation in this area here is key. And he is a good dribbler, to be fair, but I feel like he's a good dribbler instinctively. He's not going to produce 1,000 step overs and Ronaldo chop around players. Feel like, say, if the ball comes around to him here and a player gets close to him, the first touch out of his feet is crucial. He does plays with a touch as opposed to trickery. So let's say the ball coming in here, he can quickly take the touch around the player. And then what this does is create an issue for the opposition, where then someone has to commit to him. They have to lose their marker and come closer to him, because you can't leave him isolated to move into space where he can get into more dangerous opportunities to create. So you've got to get close to him, but then as a result, that leaves a player free that they were originally marking, and he's got the quality under pressure, as I say, in those high pressure situations where it's frantic, it's a little bit chaotic, it's slow for him, it's calm, it's measured, and he finds those passes to players in more dangerous positions, and he will look to progress it into that half space. This area of the pitch is where he wants the ball to be when he's in control of it, because that's the area of the pitch that probably wins you the greatest amount of territory in attacking zones, and he is so good at exploiting it. He is top drawer at exploiting it. The team he moves to is going to need to offer him these runners, because especially with Brentford, he attracts players doubling up on him, and with those runners in behind, it gives him the freedom to move into positions that best suit his qualities. So he'll need that at his new club. With that said, I think the club that would be most suited to him is Newcastle United. I think they have a need for a right winger. I think Jacob Murphy has done a fantastic job for him, but I don't think he's at the level that they need to take him to where they want to go. I think Mbeumo was potentially that. He does the hard work that Jacob Murphy does on that right-hand side, and while Jacob Murphy is fantastic at being a byline winger, as I was just saying, that is obviously not Mbeumo's game, but I just think he offers such a fantastic array of quality, where with the right runners around, and with Livramento growing into the side and being a fantastic athlete that can make runs, Bruno Guimaraes playing inside of him that can make runs into the box and get into good goal scoring opportunities that attract markers away from him, gives him the platform to be able to produce his best football and show off his best qualities. And also with him and Anthony Gordon on the other wing, it's threats that no fullbacks will want to deal with in this league. You can't push them over to the left hand side because they've still got a threat. Keep them over to the right, there's still a threat. Also, it gives Alexander Isak the opportunity to move deeper and contribute to general attacking play, as opposed to just getting into positions to use his goal scoring quality. Because Mbeumo can move into that position, as was shown. He can be the transitional threat that Newcastle need in terms of that build-up and counter-attacking wise. And he can complement Isak well. He's shown he has a really good understanding with Visser, and as good as Visser's been, Isak is at another level. And I feel like those two qualities can really get the best out of each other. And we could see a front three for Newcastle this season that all reach double figures in goals. And with three players that could easily get into double figures with goals, it's hard not to see them doing well in the league. That's my opinion. I'd love to know what Brentford fans think. I'd love to know what Newcastle fans think, if you think these are suitable move for you guys. And just let us know down below. See you guys in a bit.